For the second year in a row, All Elite Wrestling makes its way to Wembley Stadium from London this coming Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. BST. That's British Standard Time. Breaking out a new one for you. It is time for AEW All In. We go all in one more time, and you go all in with the Flex Zone podcast, the only place giving you your wrestling coverage in your sports. How you want it when you need it. You know I'm back again. More match previews coming your way. And boy, do we keep things off. We kick things off. We super kick things off with a wonderful bout as the final countdown. The title versus the career for the AEW World Championship. As Swerve Strickland, the champion, takes on the greatest wrestler of the modern era, Bryan Danielson, in what could be his final countdown in Wembley for the main event of All In 2024, which we did find out will be the last All In Wembley for now, as All In Arlington has been announced for July 12th, 2025, a Saturday. So big ups to AEW, bringing All In to the state, getting out of the mundane rhetoric, just the feeling of nothing being new or different. Getting out of the insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And then moving out of Wembley, doing their first major stadium show at Arlington, at Globe Life Field, 40,000, the first in the United States, the first since the original All In. I think it's a good move for them. Yes, the ratings are down. Yes, the product is ice cold. Yes, it's not going to be 80,000 people there, but a crowd of 40 to 50,000, 30,000 people less. There are a lot of problems we can talk about with AEW, but I think what they've done with Swerve and Danielson so far has been respectable. And I'm not going to lie, Swerve's title run started off a little shaky. And we love Swerve. And I think at the end of the year, with the run he's on and where he could be going with the rest of 2024, he could be your wrestler of the year. But ever since Forbidden Door, the build with Will Ospreay, the match with Will Ospreay putting Swerve over, Swerve looking, walking, talking, and just giving off that aura of not only a world champion, but of a bad mother shut your mouth, because he walks it like he talks it. He has the aura. Prince Nana's great. He can do it in the ring. He can do it on the mic. He can play a baby face with the crowd loving him. And in this scenario, much like Bryan Danielson has done throughout his career, he can flip that switch, play a heel, be a bad guy, have the crowd to hate him, but be so good at his job that, yeah, you may want to slap him, but you love what he's doing. And he's been making everyone ask, whose house? It's Swerve's house, and it's the Flex Zone's house. Bryan Danielson, I said he's the greatest wrestler of the modern era, probably since the early 2000s, since the 2010s. He can do it all. And the story they've been telling since Dynasty of this being his final run, the Tiger Driver, making Danielson need neck surgery, basically. Him upping the stakes, making the match more predictable, making the match must-see, making it worthy of a main event, in my opinion. Yes, we've seen the match before. Yes, they could have went with Swerve and Hangman. I'll get to Hangman in a second. But Danielson not making this just a regular match, because without the stakes, without the stipulation, I pretty much was on the side of Swerve winning, Danielson losing, yet again, another big match. And he moves on to something else through the rest of the year. He then ends his full-time gig. Comes back, special attractions. I think he'll be at All In Arlington 2025. The World's Ends, the Full Gears, the Forbidden Doors, the show they're doing in Japan in January. He'll be a part of that. Grand Slam. But adding and putting in the stipulation of Swerve's title run, which we did not think was going to make it past probably potentially this point of Forbidden Door. Now it's at All In. And Danielson's career. And we know Tony Khan loves moments. He books for the sickos, but he also books for moments. Wembley Stadium, 50,000 people. Danielson's last time in Wembley Stadium as a full-time performer. I think they're going to put the belt on Bryan Danielson. I don't think this is how his story ends. I don't think this is how his career ends. But I think the bigger story at hand, I just spoke about Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. Potentially the best blood feud in AEW history. I think that Hangman, what is he doing at All In? Is he in a casino gauntlet match? Is he going to have a match with Jeff Jarrett? As of the recording of this video, we know Tony Khan loves to add 15 matches in the 9th hour right before the show, 5 on 0 hour, and another 10 on the main card. At the end of the day, AEW doesn't usually do the interference, especially in their main event marquee matches. But I think during this match, which I think will be fantastic, Swerve can do it all. Danielson still can go as if he's 30 years old in the ring, still doing things he was doing 10, 15 years ago. They've said all they can say. They've did all they can do. I think they'll tell a wonderful story in the ring. I think Danielson will look to overcome insurmountable odds. I think Swerve's cockiness and inexperience will cost him. Swerve's in the main event of All In. Who saw this a year ago last year when he teamed with Christian Cage and they lost to Darby and Sting in a coffin match? Swerve now has pretty much since about a year ago turned up the volume, turned up the burners on the stove, and is really one of the hottest guys in the industry. And I think here the match will be great. I think Hangman inserts himself in the match. We get some sort of screwy interference from Hangman, costing Swerve the World Championship, which Hangman wants to do to get his get back for losing to Swerve. Not once, but twice. Or 3 times, really. He lost 3 times to him. He wants his lick back. He wants to get back at Swerve. Hangman cost Swerve the World Championship. Bryan Danielson gets his moment at All In. Danielson adds his name to the lineage of AEW World Champions before he calls it a career full-time wise. The Jon Moxleys, the Chris Jerichos, the Kenny Omegas, the MJFs, the Swerve Stricklands, the Samoa Joes, the CM Punks, the Hangman Adam Pages. He adds his name to that Rolodex. He gets his moment. He goes on to All Out and defends it against the winner of the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. He defends it against Darby Allin at Grand Slam, another first-time match. He then will take it back into Washington, his home state, against Swerve Strickland, who I think will have a date with Hangman Adam Page. Let's not forget, we got All Out 2 weeks away. It's not a week away, it's 2 weeks away after Labor Day. Time to have the All In build, which we've seen, bleed into the All Out build, which we've seen, which we got to give Tony Khan and his crew credit for. They've booked All In a lot better this year. They've booked, and it seems like All Out will be booked a lot better as well, as things from All In will bleed into All Out. Swerve, Hangman, after the results of Hangman getting into Swerve's business, screwing him out of the one thing he loves, the AEW World Championship. Hangman and Swerve one more time at All Out. Then Swerve goes from there, gets back to the World Heavyweight Championship opportunity in his home state of Washington, in Tacoma, where he's from, beats Bryan Danielson, wins back the AEW World Championship, becomes a 2-time champion. Danielson gets his moment, puts Swerve over, and Danielson can then finish out his full-time run, heading into the Full Gears, the World's Ends, as well for the rest of 2024. But what say you in the comment section? What do you see happening? And how do you see this match playing out between Swerve and Danielson? As I mentioned, I think Hangman gets involved, costs Swerve, Danielson gets his moment, has a nice quick run for the AEW World Championship. Swerve wins it back. Look at it like a John Cena Edge situation where we saw Edge take the title from Cena at New Year's Revolution, and then it was kind of a hot potato back and forth for a little bit. But it helped elevate both guys. It helped get Edge over. It's helping Swerve get over. He's already in the main event. The crowd loves him. He can play babyface or heel. He can then get his big moment in his hometown, win back the title, be a two-time AEW World Champion, keep the belt for the rest of 2024, hitting into 2025 as the top guy. And hey, for all we know, he could walk into All In Arlington 2025 as World Champion, maybe against a Will Ospreay. That's a marquee match if they want to run it back. Or maybe a Swerve Strickland MJF match next year. They're going to need big-time marquee matches to fill out and sell out Arlington Globe Life. Yeah, it will be hype. It's the first stadium show since All In, the first one. But it's going to need to be box office. You're in Texas where everything's bigger and better. Give us a card we can love. Swerve Strickland and Ospreay, Swerve Strickland and MJF. Let's do it. Let's book it, TK. But I'm going with Bryan Danielson to beat Swerve Strickland with the interference of Adam Page. And I think Bryan Danielson will be your new AEW World Champion. Swerve and Hangman go at it one more time. Swerve eventually works his way back up to winning back the AEW World Championship from Bryan at Wrestle Dream in his hometown in October. And we'll be live Sunday 1 p.m. All In 2024 from Wembley. Let's see what AEW brings to the table. Tony Khan does great with pay-per-view. Let's see what surprises are in store. Super hit that subscribe button, like a bomb that like button, backdrop that bell. Let me know your prediction for the matches and all the other card you want to see. What matches you want to see me talk about? What do you think about the show? What do you think about All In Arlington? Sound off down below. I'll see you in the next one here on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you your wrestling content and sports how you want it, when you need it.